I guess I'm just confused because, like, if you don't believe in anything, I guess, okay, it's not that you don't believe in anything. I know you said you do believe in stuff. But I don't understand what there is to preach then, like why you're preaching it.
What I'm doing today, and I talked about this at the beginning of the show, and a lot of times people will call in, especially believers will call in and say, if you used to believe, why don't you believe anymore? And so what I'm doing today is presenting some information that was one of the things that sort of made me rethink my interpretation of the Bible and rethink what the church was saying about the Bible. When I started to find information, the more I looked into it, the more I was like, wow, there's something wrong here.
Okay, I see. I guess, shit. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. You can say that on the air.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just don't say it very often.
Well, I mean, I guess more power to you. Preach what you want.
Okay. Thanks a lot for calling. Yeah, and different people have different takes on it. And certainly Tracy's much nicer than I am. And she actually, one of the things I like about having her on the show now is that she'll hit me or cut me off or interrupt.
Kick him under the table.
If I get to being too mean. I tend to kind of take a tact that, in addition to being an atheist, I'm also an anti-theist. I'm actively opposed to the ideas of religions in general, and some religions specifically. I don't, for example, I have too many objections to Buddhism because I don't see harmful effects of that, although I do have some objections to it as well, especially the ideas of afterlife reincarnation and other supernatural claims. And I think those are just as dangerous as the beliefs of other religions. One of the reasons why we talk about Christianity so much is that we live in a country that is mostly Christian. And it's not so much, I do object to their beliefs. I appreciate their right to have them. I'd rather they didn't believe those things because I'd prefer to live in a world where everybody wants all of their beliefs to be as true as possible and as accurate as possible. I realize we don't live in that utopia and never will, so they're free to believe what they want. And I'm more concerned about what the actions they take on behalf of those beliefs, which we've said a few times. But one of the things is that I used to be a Christian, and there were arguments and evidence and discussions that people presented which helped convince me that my beliefs were untrue. And if I can help present that information to other people, it's not a matter of I'm not on a mission to convert people to atheism. I'd be happy if people became atheists, but atheism doesn't have any dogma or tenets or doctrine, and it can't tell you where you came from, and it can't make you feel better when it's cold outside and you don't have any food. That's not its purpose. Atheism doesn't explain anything. We had a caller last week who was just ranting about how he thought it was our duty to be up here, and the first caller today felt that we should be talking about science and providing explanations to the Big Bang. Atheism in and of itself doesn't matter whether you believe the Big Bang. Doesn't matter whether the Big Bang's true. The only thing it is a lack of belief in a God. And what I try and do is present information that I found convincing, arguments that I think were important, and if it changes somebody's mind, great. If somebody comes away after listening to this program or reading something I've written or whatever else, and their faith is stronger and their beliefs are reinforced, good for them. At least they examined the issues. I spent way too many years, and I think way too many people do, sitting around believing things for no good reason. And there are effects of that in the way your mind works. But yeah, I tend to take this a lot more seriously and more important because I realize that to some people it looks like preaching, and it looks like atheism is a religion. And on the levels where there are similarities in what we're doing and why, sure, there are similarities. But to call it a religion would be like watching football religion, because you can do it religiously.
Yeah.
Those type of definitions, and I don't find them useful. Matter of fact, I find them kind of distracting. And in reality, I'm just trying to provide some information that I was lacking.